Well, hello everybody. Welcome to our video review of episode 6, season 7 of The Flash. Well, I'm kind of excited to talk about it. This is the first time I've really enjoyed myself in an episode of The Flash this season, but we are going to a way to talk about that. Let me see if I can get my guest star, my co-host, up for the episode.
Hold on.
Wait, is that? Oh my gosh, Bingman, it's you! Bingman, you're alive!
Yeah, why? What happened?
I thought the frog got you.
What frog?
The frog! You
What
haven't
frog?
seen the frog?
No?
Have you not been watching my videos?
Wait. You make videos? Without me?
Well, I've had to. I do it with Batman too. Did one with Spider-Man just a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I go on vacation for like just 1 week, and all of a sudden you're just going out with all these other guys?
Well, when you say it like that, that sounds weird, man.
Well, it's not as weird as that I'm seeing it. It's like you just want to be on a show with a frog? And a guy dressed as Batman?
He said he killed you. At least he heavily implied that he killed you.
Did he say those words, though? I don't...
He said that he didn't exactly kill you.
Well, yeah, obviously, because I'm right here.
So, okay, well, I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad that you were not eaten by a frog.
Why would it be eaten by a frog?
I do not know, but...
That is absurd.
Listen, Tillium was asking about you. He was asking if you were eaten by the frog.
Oh.
Yes. And I think... did you see this episode of The Flash, then?
Yeah, it was over before I got to enjoy it.
Okay.
It went fast.
Well,
in this case, they're trying to say it went slow because the plot line was slow as much as Cisco is in this episode. Well,
this episode, yeah, you're right. So let me give a quick rundown. Basically, Chester P. What's his last name?
Parks? I
don't know. I can't remember. I'm sorry. But Chester and Cisco are going out to basically build a device that will be able to track the other two that are like Nora, the Speed Force. You okay there?
Yeah, I got a frog in my throat. I mean,
you don't want to joke about that.
Continue.
Well, as they are setting it up, it is basically to track down Fweza or what was the other one? Psych. That's what they
yeah.
But a new player has arrived, a new challenger, if you will, as a green wall of energy attacks them, and they are transported back to 1998.
Yes.
They work out that they need to find the person responsible for this. Turns out to be just some guy named something. They don't even give him a superhero name because he's not a hero or really a supervillain. He's just a guy who hurt his knee in high school and wasn't very satisfied with his place in life, and so he used the Still Force to turn back time.
No, he didn't.
That's what they said.
Yeah, they're wrong. They're full of shit. Sorry, I swore in a puppet show, but yeah, Still Force slows things down to a standstill. And guess who does that? The Turtle. Why? Because he's the guy who runs. He basically harnesses the Still Force. That's what Joshua Williamson had to do in his run, which they're heavily trying to copy from, but not, I guess, is not as much as we want them to. So now they're changing things because they don't want to bring back an old cast member, which is so dumb because they don't need to bring back the Turtle. They could have a Turtle 2.0.
Didn't they already say that they have a Turtle 2.0? 2.0? They really made it sound like that. I can't remember one, though.
Because this guy apparently had a bad date. And the one they're going after, the one who's controlling the Still Force. This sounds bad, calling it that. Anyway, he is basically able to control time. He can open up pocket dimensions into different sections of the portals into time and stuff in space, which is fun because I believe it was Rebirth or two, one of those, or after Flashpoint, there was Speed Force was basically opening up. There was and there were people from different times zones getting caught inside the Speed Force.
Cool.
There weren't, so there actually was a dinosaur. There was, there was World War II tanks. There was World War I fighter plane fighters. It's just then to them to do this. I guess they don't want to be just like the comics, but honestly, if you're gonna call it the Still Force, give the names. You got to keep it the same. And I'm curious though. Do you think it's because the reason they're calling this the Still Force is because they don't have the rights to call it? To do what it actually is in the comic books?
I think that they already had. They had the Turtle on there early on in season 1 or 2, and
for those who don't remember,
they wanted to give it a sort of boost, a way that they could say, "Look at this! This is actually the most powerful force they have faced yet."
Yes. For those who don't know who the Turtle is, Turtle actually appeared in Joshua Williamson's run. He might have appeared before that, but the most current run was from 2019, going all the way up until now.
The Turtle is like a classic Flash villain.
Yeah. Oh, is he? Okay. As I said, I've only read a couple runs. I've never read the actual original stuff with the Flash, the Silver Age and Golden Age. Anyway, the Turtle basically was a villain who basically had the opposite power of the Flash. And before they even came out with the different forces, he was just a guy who basically could slow everything down to a standstill. Mm-hmm. So when Joshua Williamson put him into his books, this guy basically became Flash's greatest villain. Flash struggled against him, and this is actually Flash's first villain. Before he became known as the Flash, Barry Allen just got his powers, and he had to go against this guy called the Turtle. And he actually fought, and he finds out in the future that the Turtle is even more powerful than he thought he was. So they're actually still arch enemies. Still, So going back in the past, he beats him and stuff. It's interesting because in the comics they make this guy, he's actually the bearer of the Still Force. There wasn't no speed gods. There wasn't no Norma. I'm the Speed Force taking physical form. That is part of the CW, and I understand they want to be different, but this just seems so weird because now you're trying to say Psyche wasn't. Now is he the actual bearer of the Sage Force as Cisco tries to say is, or was he this Sage God? Because there's speed gods now.
No. I think they are. I don't know. I think these are people that have been affected by the Force, and they've become embodiments of the Force in the same way that Nora is currently the embodiment of the Speed Force.
Well, no, it just took in Nora's case, the Speed Force just took on the face of Barry's dead mother to comfort him when he was in the Speed Force. It was a way to connect to Barry, a friendly face. That's the only connection there is to Barry. It's a Speed Force, and it did that. But now, for whatever reason, we see in this episode, it's becoming more and more human.
Yeah, that's weird.
And that is weird. And you saw how Barry kind of hesitant. He's like, when Iris is like, "Oh no, you can come sleep with us," and Barry's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, it is odd, especially if I'm in his position. I would feel it's odd too.
And what really made me mad though about this episode, Barry has a security blanket snug.
Oh, Barry's blanket burrito. Ugh. Oh, that was just cringy.
And then it gives it to the Speed Force, and Iris is like, "Oh, it does feel like someone's hugging you. Lay it down." And it's like, Iris,
Blah, blah,
Iris,
blah.
why would he have a blanket when he has you? Apparently, you're not enough to help him.
Yeah, I don't.
There's a fault in that, Rod.
Oh no. The
It's short circuited, probably.
I mean, keeping the blanket makes sense. It was made by his mother. Not using it though. I mean, grown ass man.
I can see him in there. It's like,
Yes. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking if this episode ends with Barry awake and just wrapped up in the security blanket like it's a sleeping bag and head is poking out.
I'm just
I am
thinking.
going to riot.
I'm just thinking. I can just picture like he's in there naked in the blanket. Oh, it feels so cold.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I know you weren't happy about how they have morphed the Still Force into basically being the Time Force, honestly.
Yeah. What's the point of that? When you say it controls time, Still Force slows things down, does not pull things from other dimensions and all time.
No. Now you're looking at it wrong because
not the dimension, but like time and space.
It slows things down in such a way that it pulls it back through time. That's why the town is in a pocket. It's in a bubble. And
if he slows it down, how is he able to pull?
Year 1998, which is why all the dead people are alive.
No. If you slow something down, you slow it down. Now, as far as pulling stuff from the past, like Jurassic period, the T-Rex, that's time manipulation. He's opening up rifts and through time portals. Sorry, that's not him. That's not Still Force. Still Force slows things down to a standstill. And while he walks, the whole point is that this guy was a shriveled up old man. And he was real short, and he's and he became like a hunchback almost like that. And he felt so much more powerful when he slowed everybody down. He's able to do what he wanted. That was his whole thing.
I know who the turtle is.
I'm just saying. So to have a guy like this, who is just a jock, trying to relive his glory days. I can know. Yeah. I'm like, okay, then have him slow things down, but not. I'm gonna pull stuff from random points in time.
It's not that he doesn't have control of his power. See, it's not pulling stuff from time. It is things to that point in time, which is why the entire area, why a blockbuster was. You
can't slow things backwards. You can only slow them down. That's not slowing down. That's rewinding things. So they should have called him the God of Rewind.
But if time is a forward progression, then slowing it down would
pause it.
Would pull it back to its original state.
No, it wouldn't. That's rewinding. Pause on a VCR is pause. There's also slow play where it goes slowly forward.
Yes, but if you're taking sectors of the planet, let's say there's a dome around me, and suddenly I am losing my felt. I have been pulled
because he locked you in that specific moment, but he cannot go before the moment he met you. He can't rewind all the way back thousands of years and say like this is him being made. And I'll pause.
But he's not doing it on purpose. He doesn't mean to bring a T-Rex. He doesn't mean.
I'm just saying that the powers do not make sense.
I don't think they're. I don't hate them. I actually think that they are.
I don't mind them, but just don't call them Still Force because that's not what a Still Force power is. Still Force is slowing things down. What he's doing is rewinding things.
Yeah, I mean,
time manipulation. He's a Time Lord.
I have a button to kick you off this stream. We're not going to talk about Time Lords here,
because it's timey-wimey. Time. It's not a straight line.
We are moving right along now. Chester and Cisco are really the stars of this episode, as Barry is in a coma, but until the end. I think
I don't remember that.
I really do like. They're very fun. These are fun side characters, and they actually get a chance to shine in this episode. And I'm glad because Chester is an enjoyable character. He just hasn't had that much time to really show his stuff lately.
He did show his stuff when he met the Speed Force, and he just went gaga over Barry's clone mom.
Well, it looks like his mom. It's not actually his mom, but
the funny part is like it's the younger version of the mom. It's not the current older version because she's not that actress isn't much older than the rest of the cast.
Well, it did happen. The murder did happen.
When she was like,
now.
Yeah. So,
but you know that's another topic for another day. But I meant in his with how he is interacting with Cisco, and then his own father in 1998.
Well, he finds out. Wait, because they're trapped in the day before. Or was it the day of? No, the day before.
The day before he gets hit by a car.
Wasn't it like November 8th, 1998, or something like that, or December 8th? It was something like that. It was like
I thought it was December 4th, but maybe it could be
because he said December 9th is the day. The 9th was the day his dad died. This is the day before.
So it'd be 8th.
Yeah, so the 8th. Yeah. And he basically Chester finds out that he always hated his dad. He was, because his dad felt like his dad never paid attention to him. Until he finally goes, they need to confront his dad in the past because he bought a part they needed in order to build this beacon thing over to protect them again. Their minds wiped for the next time the guy uses the still force to reset everything. Anyway, so Cisco was gonna go there, but yeah, Chester. He's like, you know what? The last minute we see Chester pop up in the next scene, and he's confronting this guy. He just walks to this guy's garage like he lives there. But I thought it's like, that's bold, dude. You're not. First of all, the guy's like,
it's a shop. It's definitely a shop.
How'd you get in my garage? What do you do, creeper?
There's definitely like a desk there for people to come in.
Yeah, but the point is that Chester finds out that his dad was never really ignoring him, and because Chester had a thing in the beginning. He was dumpster diving, and Cisco was grossed out. He's like, "Well, one man's trash is another man's treasure," and it turns out where he learned that because his dad was because Chester went there to get it from his dad, get this part, and he said, "I won't give it to you. What are you doing? I'm putting it in the trash because I know a day or two later my son's gonna come in there and he's gonna need it." And so he's going to find out a value that there is treasure in trash.
Yeah.
And
he teaches him how to be resourceful. And Chester realizes everything his dad did was out of love for him. And I really thought that was a solid moment. You don't get a lot of moments like that.
No, not on this show. But I did like the fact that at the end of this show, they showed Chester pulls out this map. It's with plans, and I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. It looks like some kind of satellite, I think.
It does look like something. I'm wondering what exactly this will lead to, because it's going to lead to something. Yeah,
because he's going to after everything's all done, fixed, they're back to normal time presence. He's going to continue what him and his dad were going to work on together. Something they're going to build, and it looked like a satellite. So I'm just curious, what is this going to do? And what's also, I thought Chester in the comics had control over time manipulation.
I'm not sure.
I gotta look it
up. I know that I know that he is certainly supposed to be bigger in the comics. But that's besides the point. He's definitely an enjoyable character.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. He's a black hole in his body. Did they ever solve that problem? That was part of the Air Force, yeah.
Yeah, they solved the problem in the
Chester Runk is his last name.
Runk, that's his last name. Yes, they solved the problem with the black holes that he was generating around Central City. What was I saying? Oh yeah, well he's definitely going to be pushing on with that project, doing more. other than that, I'm not exactly sure where we go from here. They're going to be tracking down these new force wielders, for lack of a better term. But I'm not exactly sure where we go from here.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that the person who talked to Joe in the last episode is looking for Killer Frost, and Joe actually tells Frost that in this episode. The outfits were fun too. Whenever the time manipulation pushed them back into Styles, it didn't exactly make sense, but
Okay, so I want to know because remember, so how Chester got his original thing, the black hole, because he built a machine that could open up black holes. I wonder if he's going to build another device like that.
Well, I thought the original way he got his powers was through a project that he was working on, plus some, manipulation. Because there's always manipulation of some sort, whether it's an exploding, what's it called?
Black matter? Dark
no,
matter?
the thing that Harrison Wells built. Fake Harrison Wells. Particle accelerator.
Yes.
Whether it's that or lightning, something's always messing something up.
Right.
But other than that, it was an enjoyable episode.
Yeah, I really, like you said, it just felt weird because it wasn't really a Flash episode. It was a Nerds, 90s,
Yes.
It was Captain Marvel without Captain Marvel, the 90s.
And I think it nailed the references better than Captain Marvel.
Yeah, right.
But that's besides the point. I definitely enjoyed this episode. I know you aren't happy with what they've done to the Still Force. But I do have to admit, this episode was a lot of fun. I feel that it was really a breath of fresh air. Do you have anything, any final thoughts, Dr. Venkman?
Well, it's actually just called RDV, but yeah, just check out this. I mean, I would say if you're a fan of the Flash, even though you don't like Iris because Iris is kind of can get on your nerves in this. I will admit that it's not the actress, it's the bad writing. So if you can look past that, look at the special effects, especially this season alone, they are pulling out the special effects. Something that Supergirl has pretty much never had. And anything, did you notice how that green energy wall kind of reminded you of Crisis?
Yes.
I love how they almost pretty much crap their pants. You're like, oh crap, what is that? Like they're like, oh, still alive.
Yeah, they were worried. You know what? I was there too, because they are really pulling out all the stuff. That dinosaur, even though you could obviously tell that's a CGI dinosaur, it was great, man.
Yep, they opened the mouth and they yelled. You could see the spit flying. And I was like, man, they're actually
gnarly.
Really
that's something kids say, right?
What kids?
Kids these days. I don't know.
I'm
trying to stay relevant, sir.
Oh, relevance. Okay. Well, you should have tried that in the first 15 seconds.
You know what? We're going back to the 90s in this episode. It doesn't matter anyway. So, everybody, I think that about wraps it up. Definitely check it out. I think out of all the CW series going on right now until Superman and Lois returns, this is the one to check out. I definitely feel there are some qualities to it that are absolutely enjoyable. And you know what? I did definitely enjoy myself today. And we will be here next time, of course, to review the next episode of The Flash on the CW. Make sure to leave a comment. Let us know what you think of this episode of The Flash. Also, if you like this video, please leave a like. We want to know that you are enjoying this content. Speaking of the content that you are receiving, make sure you're subscribed. If you're subscribed, more is coming on the way, and it's coming straight to you. So, speaking for RDV and myself, I'll say thank you one more time and finally say bye!